The concept of pre-commerce is that when you think about how much time people spend actually buying something or making a transaction, it's less than 1% of the entire time they spend in their lives online. So 99% of the time they spend online is actually what we call pre-commerce, where people are learning, they're educating themselves in different ways, they're talking to their peers, maybe just having fun, and at the meantime they're getting exposed to a lot of different messages from brands. But brands actually have to, we always talk about the customer journey. The reality is the customer journey is not as linear as we think. And it often happens over months or quarters or even years where people are actually making their decisions. Brands have to be smart enough to understand what that pre-commerce journey is in order to eventually get into the customer journey that leads to that transaction. The interesting thing about advertising is it's always been about how we as advertisers will do something to you and you'll like it. And the reality is customers have always wanted a story. And so that's been with us forever. So what I like is this is the kind of thing we're doing with NextWorks is how do you actually take the story for a brand, package it together in a way that makes sense, that a customer cares about, and then put it into an environment where a customer can access it when they want it. Whether it's in a social channel or it's in search or it's on a website. But basically when they're ready to learn about a brand, they can actually learn in a way that makes sense for them. And people, they don't want to learn in a linear way. They don't want to get one piece of information and then get led to another piece of information and then they have to wait to get another piece of information. They want to learn in the rate that they want to. So a capsule allows you to pick and choose what you want to learn and when. So when people are spending 6 to 7 minutes on a content capsule, it tells us something that's actually quite elementary, actually. Subconsciously, people know that they're getting something that's valuable. And we don't have to research and find this out. We know that if people go to a typical website, they're just getting bounced around and they might find what they want, but that's why they don't spend a lot of time on it, because they're not satisfied with their performance. When you spend 6 or 7 minutes somewhere, it's a lot of time in today's Snapchat world where we're used to 10, 15, 30-second stories. So that means that they're learning, that they're figuring out what matters to them. And by doing that, they're leaving a trail for us that tells us how to actually provide even better information next time, so we keep building the relationship in terms of how we learn together. What we do with algorithms and different models that we create is we're actually looking at what our customers are already telling us. So we can see what influencers care about, we can see what advocates care about online, we can see what kind of content they consume, what channels they go to, what time of day they go online, what kind of language they use. Well, as you know all this, basically all the answers for what kind of content people want are right in front of us. So all we have to do is discover the clues, follow them, and find the answer, and then say, okay, how do we provide that content now in a way that matches up with the way they're learning online? And so, yes, they might want to have something that's very direct on the brand in a video, and they're cool with that, but they might want a slide deck because they actually want to go a little deeper and learn more, but they also need FAQs because they're not exactly sure what's happening about the other aspects of the brand. Or they might want to hear some other testimonials from people because they're trying to figure out what are people's experiences like. So, but you can see that online and say, okay, this is a brand at a time where people are learning about it, so let's put more learning. Or they want to know what the experience is like, let's go overboard there. Or they want to know, something else. But the key thing is the clues are in front of us. It's not always our instinct, I think, as companies to look for them. We tend to get in conference rooms and decide that what we've decided with 8 people over a brownie is perfect, and that's usually far from the truth. One of the things I like about NextWorks is that when you think of how technology, where it's going to take us, it's actually going to allow us to understand exactly who our audience is, what that audience is doing, and then get smarter every time we interact with them. So what I believe NextWorks is doing through the capsules is providing a great experience with the story, but then because all that data is tracked, it gets us smarter each time we have another interaction, on top of the ability to understand what audience we should be going to in the first place. So if we have the precision of the right audience, and we have the precision of knowing what people like in terms of content, and we keep going in that right path, we're going to get a heck of a lot smarter together. One of the things that we realize with content capsules is that the way that we've always thought of content has to change as well. So we've always known that people are consuming content in smaller doses, but what we don't know yet, and we learn from the capsule, is what types of content go together. So if I like a video, do I tend to like FAQs? Or if I like a video, do I tend to like slide decks? Or do I like more videos? And we used to judge where people went on a website, and that would be how we judged how content works. Now we can actually see how content itself interrelates. And that behavioral pattern is going to be one of the breakthroughs that will occur in content distribution in the years ahead. There's a reason why videos outperform, and I believe always will. It's because that's the way our brains are wired. And so our brains are wired in a way that we prefer to learn visually. When you actually look at data out there, 2 out of 3 people prefer to learn that way. So if you think of the optimal way we learn, it's that we can learn visually and have text. So really, for Fortune 500 companies or anyone who uses the capsule, what I would say is, why are you starting with text when you know that the brain wants to lead with visual?